Hi guys, happy Monday everyone. I have purchased two Fendi handbags recently, and they're both in the Zucchino pattern. Zucchino pattern is the second most popular Fendi pattern next to the Fendi Zucca. Basically, it's the classic FF pattern or logo, but in a smaller print. As you can see, Azuka, they are bold, they're a lot bigger than this. So Zucchino basically means it's like the tinier version of their bold Zuka pattern. And I have two styles here. One is in the Fendi Forever Mama style. It's very confusing, really, but you would know when it comes to the size. On the left side is the Fendi Mama Forever Mama, and sometimes they just use Fendi Mama, or sometimes they use Fendi Baguette. So when you are looking for specific for specific Fendi, you would totally overlook the others because some sellers don't actually know the difference between Mama and Baguette. So I would say if you're looking for Fendi bag, it would be safe to just look for a Fendi handbag, and you all the results will come out. If you're going to, of course, streamline your search, you would do that. But I'm telling you, would miss out a lot of these good deals because some say baguette even if it's not a baguette, and some say it's mama even if it's not a mama. Okay, and the one on the right is a shopping tote, or just a double handle tote. And I've been seeing this style recently, but in a bigger, a much bigger size, and in the hobo style. And so it's just you always see something that is new to you, even though they've come out like years ago, especially if you don't own it. Okay, so I'm making this video because in spite of the many many Fendi handbags that I own, I'm still a bit skeptical about the authenticity of these two bags. Mind you, the prices on these bags, on the left bag would have been a very good deal because I only bought it for less than $100, and the seller wasn't sure of the authenticity. So I took a gamble on it. I was say, okay, it's okay, because if this turns out to be real, then I got my money back, because she disclosed it that she's not sure. Okay, and on the second one, she disclosed it that it is authentic, and I paid almost $200 for that. Of course, I shouldn't be skeptical about it because the price is, somewhat reasonable. Because this is like $200 for it's a very tiny handbag. But then I saw some. I'm very meticulous, guys, and I've been comparing it to my other Fendi bags and all that. So we'll get to that later. But I sure do hope, and with all the knowledge that I have about the Fendi bags, because I've been collecting for like 2 years now, and these are the only two that actually made me think twice about my knowledge in authenticating Fendi. So if I would need your output on this one, or input rather, and at the same time I'm going to bring this to my luxury consignment shop for verification and authentication. Okay, let's go to the first one. This is the Fendi Forever Mama. So if you see a handbag like this, the baguette would be half of this size, or at least 3/4 of this size. So this is a relatively medium size handbag. And of course, this is the soft canvas because Fendi has made a lot of materials. I mean, has used a lot of materials. Like there's this coated canvas. I love their coated canvas. It looks more chic and more sturdy. However, it's prone to scratching and all that. And they also have the denim. And of course, it comes in a lot of colors. I just love this brown color. It's like a coffee color. Okay, so I bought this only for less than $100. And the seller said, I'm not really sure if this is authentic because this was given to me as a gift. However, it is perfect. Everything is, it looks newish. She said it looks newish. Well, on the part of the straps, yes, it looks very, very new. It's like it has never been carried. And this one, the leather here on the buckle is really, really gorgeous and in nearly mint condition. And the only thing is that it has got some, you know, stains. Okay, so this canvas really is very, it's prone to staining, guys. Okay, and so this is of course the side. If you can see that there are brown patches here, I think that's the stain. Just the back, it would have this Fendi in vertical, the smaller font in between these, and of course this has no studs because it's a very, very collapsible handbag. This is super, super light, but I've been trying to get myself to get into the, you know, this craze of Fendi Forever Mama craze, but I just couldn't get myself to embrace this handbag, guys, because you know what, although it's light, it's so popular and it actually accommodates a lot. It's just that I don't like the shape because once you carry it, look, this one sags, and I just hate that because it does that. So that's why I don't like this Fendi Mama. The baguette, the shape, I'm sorry, the shape of the baguette stays, so it's even better. It's just that it's so tiny, and I would have preferred, you know, this size. However, it does that. So I think the coated canvas would be, of course, a lot sturdier, but this is more in than the coated canvas. Okay, so I think this is one of the newer versions because you know that I've mentioned that the problem with the vintage Fendi bags is that the leather tends to split on the handles, and I've brought two of my Fendi bags and I've asked them to sew both edges, and I've spent $100 more or more for that. Is $50 plus tax for each bag, so that they could sew the edges to prevent splitting. Okay, and so the newer versions come with this, and of course, you know, you have to check the authenticity. So I'm like, okay, it has the Fendi buckle there. Fendi. The only thing why it raised suspicions on my part, because she said she wasn't sure. So I said, with that amount that I'm paying, maybe it's okay to just, you know, gamble. So I said, okay, I'm just gonna get it, because when she took a picture of the inner lining and said it's all good. Okay, so this one has to have Fendi here and on the other side, and mind you, only one of them has to have a Fendi logo on both sides of the buckle, not both. Okay. And then, of course, you have to look at the buckle. And the buckle is a perfect shape. Perfect shape. There's the thing that I'm always looking for. Of course, it has these screws. This is the Fendi screw. I wonder why it's not focusing nicely over there. And it should have a Fendi made in Italy on one side, of course, and it has a Fendi on this side, too. Maybe it's not focusing very well. And I always look at this for the closure is it has to have FF and a Fendi. So I'm like, okay, check, check, check. All the rivets are good. And of course, when I saw this, and I said, okay, this is too good to be, replicated. So I said, okay, this is actually okay, because all the linings are perfect, and the plaque says made in Italy, and then the FF Fendi here. Okay, now let me just pull the thing out, and it has this just brown lining with Fendi, Fendi, Fendi. Okay, so I'm like, okay, so this is the only thing that raised suspicion on my part, because most of my Fendi linings actually are a bit stiffer than this. This is a bit silkier, so maybe the new ones are really like this. And guys, I'm too paranoid. And this one, it has the authenticity logo, okay? Fendi authenticity logo. So I'm like, okay, everything checks out. And this one, the zipper pull also has a Fendi here, and so does the here. If you can see that, there's an FF underneath the zipper. And I've done a lot of research, guys, and of course I said this is a real one, because everything is just here from authenticity and everything. But of course, you just can't rely on the authenticity and the hologram stickers and all that. This doesn't have a hologram, so it just has the authenticity logo, but it has a thingy. And they said that the leather tag for the serial number is should be like as 15 to 18 digits or 17 digits. But guys, I've seen a lot where there are a lot of varying, like, I mean, it's a combination of numbers and letters, but I've seen less than 15. So what are they talking about? And they also said that if the sticker of the hologram peel off, then it's a fake. But then on Purse Forum and Purse Blog, they've made one blogger went to the Fendi store, and she said that you have to dismiss those things, because of course if you pick at it, if you pick the hologram, it will actually come off. And I did that with my two Fendi handbags, and they are real, guys. I picked it with my nail, and of course it started to come off. So that's what it was saying, that they were claiming that if it easily lifts off, then it is a fake. But guys, I've done that with two of my real handbags, and I picked it with my long nails, and it started to come off, to peel off. So they said, of course, it will peel off if you pick it. So, well, that's what I did. I picked it. Okay, anyway. So there's how many letters or numbers? And they said that the numbers should be very, very well embossed. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Oh, so this has a lot of numbers, 17. So I think this is real, guys, because, everything checks. But the only thing that, okay, there is a spot here. I am not sure if it is a spot or if it is a stain. But it's the stain. The stain here, guys, is exactly the same color as the FF thing. So this one, like this. Because I know, of course, if you try to fuse two fabrics together, then of course they would form, it's like a fusion of things, of course. But this one just stood out to me. I mean, even if you, this bit, even if you fuse two fabrics together, where did this come from? So I'm wondering, is this a stain? But it is like a print of the handbag. So I am not sure what this one is. So that's the only, guys, I am, like I've told you, I'm nitpicking and all that, of course I should be. And this is the only part that made me wonder, okay, is it supposed to be like that? Is it, maybe I'll put a shout, a stain remover here, and we'll see. I guess it is a stain. But how come it is so prominent that it resembles exactly the same color as this, guys? So let me know. Maybe it is a part of it, but okay, I'm going to bring this too. If you know what I mean. I know I've compared it to the other things online. There are so many Zucchino Forever Mama online, and I've compared it, and yes, they of course they don't tend to be perfect on these, especially the edges and the seams, but that's the only bit that made me, isn't that silly? That's the only bit. Everything checks out except for that. Okay, so let me know what you think about this. But I think this is, of course, it doesn't feel, look at that. It doesn't feel plasticky, guys. It's very, see, look at that. It sounds very metal, and because they said that fake ones tend to be plasticky on the edge, on the hardware. This one is definitely not plastic, and yeah, that's the only bit, just because of the thing there. Okay, next. This one I paid at least less than $200 for this. Okay, it does look new, guys. It does look new. And the seller said that it is a store return. Okay, so I'm like, from a huge department store. So I'm like, okay. And I know that I'm not sure if this is canvas. It's like it's thicker than a canvas. It's like there's a box in here. I mean, like a base shaper. It's like a jacquard thing, guys. But the color is very dark. It's not like the light brown Zucchino earlier. And the FFs here are slightly bigger than the other one. Okay, so when I got this handbag, I was really impressed with the condition and everything. And it has like a gunmetal hardware here, and the double. I just love this, but it's not big enough to be worn as shoulder bag, so you can only wear it like this. I wore this to church yesterday already, and we went shopping, and it's nice to hold it just like this. But when I try to do this, these ones tend to hurt because they're a bit, they tend to hurt my wrist or the crook of my arm, because they're a bit, how do you call it? It was very uncomfortable. It hurt. It hurt. Okay, so it has the Fendi intermittent Fendi. Okay, the size, and this is a very small handbag. If we measure this is probably just probably 12 inches by 7 by 5. Okay, so this doesn't show any wear at all, and the seller has so many positive feedbacks. Okay, so when I checked, everything is good. Okay, everything has the Fendi engraved on the buckle. So that's the first thing that I checked. And the seams on the leather, they're perfect. I'll show you the flaws later. And this one is a shopping tote. It's a smaller type. And this one has the Fendi zipper pull, of course. And it's just plain mocha collar. And this one is this one has the Fendi plaque, if you can see that. Okay, it's and underneath I checked, of course, as always, it has a very nice Fendi. It has the perfect FF there, and the hallmark here, a smaller circle here, because they are actually faking even the underneath zippers, but normally it would have the wrong font, and it would be like really sloppily done, if that is even a word. Okay, now let's go to, so everything checks, right? Let's go to this. Okay, this one. So I'm like, it's just why is it darker? I said, why can't I read it? Of course, except for the Fendi. So this one normally would be like in brighter color, like the other one. And this one is like in a darker color. It's like, it's hard to read. But of course, it's quality, because they tend to just, don't sew it up. But this one is really sewn very well, and it has the hologram in the back, but without the serial number underneath. So I tried to pick this, of course, and it started to lift, of course, with my long nails. And so I asked the seller, why doesn't it have a serial number underneath? Because normally, like a serial number underneath the hologram, and she said that this is the very first time that they've put in those holograms. So she said that the first, she wrote to me and she said that they didn't put numbers under the hologram. So let me just research on that, because most of my Fendis do come with a number under the hologram. But of course, she said this was circa 2005. So, okay, all right. But it does have a serial number here, and it is really nearly stitched. I mean, sewn in tightly, and 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. It only has 13 numbers, so I'm not really sure, because they said it should have 15 to 17 numbers. So I'm not really sure. So if you have, I've exhausted my I've done a lot of research, and I did compare these guys to the other Fendi shopping totes, and they do look exactly like this, even those that come from Japan. So I think this could be a real one. So I said, okay, I'm holding on to this bag because I like it. I said to the seller, and the zipper, guys, it's really of superior quality. You can just see that. It's of superior quality, and it's just so neat. It's just so neat. Okay, and I thought at first, I was like, was I scammed? Because I was like, should it be like this? Because should it where the edges, where the seams meet, I was like, this is so uneven. So I'm nitpicking again. So I'm like, okay, it looks uneven, and it's like it has glue marks here and all that. But when I compared it to the bigger totes, it really does. It really, they don't really look like perfect here, where the two ends meet. So I'm like, okay, I've compared it to the others, and it's actually the same on the back. So I'm like, okay, so that. But again, when I tried to, one of the buckles here, that one of the buckles should have, I mean, all the buckles should have a hole, right? A hole. And that hole has to be like a bit deeper, like you could get in there. So of course, I know that this is the real Fendi thing, but then I found one with a shallow hole. Where was that? No, not that one. That's a bit deep. Oh, geez. This one, guys. This one. How come, if you could see that, this one does have a hole, but it's not deep enough. It's like it's here. I don't even know if it makes sense, you know. I said, how come there is no hole here? It does have a dent. It's just a dent, but normally it has to have a hole, because all of them should have like a really, really deep hole like this. You could see it. See the deep hole? Deep hole here. That one is just shallow. So I'm not sure if you've encountered, but everything, the font checks out everything if you've encountered. So I'm keeping this because as I've said, it's a very, very cute tiny bag, and it's a very, very cute bag, but I'm going to bring it to my favorite consignment shop and see what they say. And because I didn't pay like $50 or $70 for this, I paid $200, so I expect this to be genuine. Everything is good except for that hole. So let me know what you think about this, guys. And yeah, I think both of them may be genuine. Of course, this one is genuine. This is not plastic or PVC. It's leather. You can just see that if you twist it, it's leather. So and this one is definitely leather too. So they're both done very well, except for, you know, those tiny flaws that I've noticed. Okay, tell me what you know, guys, and if you have any information on this. Okay, bye.